Well, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who's blessed us with every spiritual blessing in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Hello there, most welcome to Heart and Soul, where we explore the relationship between sports and faith. From an African setting, an African will hardly do anything without consulting a deity or a supreme being. And it also does affect sports and every other thing that they do in their lives. So this is a show where we get to explore the two and also combine and try to examine the relationship and how it affects performances and the careers of lives of our sportsmen and women over the years. On this edition of the program, we'll tell a beautiful story of a Ghanaian boy born in Brekum who has gone through the ranks of Brekum Arsenal, Liberty Professionals, going through to the very highest level of football at the World Cup, the FIFA Under-20 World Cup 2001, and what have you, in Europe, also playing in Israel, the Holy Land. So he has quite a number of experiences to share with us on this edition of the program. My guest is ex-Blaster defender John Paintsil. After this break, we start talking.
What role does juju play in football? How about faith in God? Does the belief in superstition help people to achieve their purpose in life and sports?
Players have their own preparation, like before you'd go out to play, you'd have your own preparation, like the way you tied your boots.
Somebody will give you a talisman to put in your bandage or your anklet.
So it's at a younger age, they send us to the beaches to put candles and all those things, and then they start to invoke things.
Watch sports personalities as they share experiences of their beliefs in superstition and faith in God during and after their careers. On Heart and Soul, a program that explores the relationship between religion and superstition in sports. Heart and Soul.
Well, you're most welcome back. And with a singular honor, let me introduce my guest, John Paintsil, ex-Blackstar, ex-Fulham, ex-Kaiser Chiefs, ex-Brekum Arsenal. I mean, the list can go on and on. John, good day, most welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for honoring this invitation to be part of this program. How are you doing anyways? I just see you in your outfit. It seems you've been playing football or you've been training?
I've been training, yeah.
Okay.
I've been training players and at the same time playing football.
Wow.
Just to keep myself fit.
Okay. So you are a coach, a licensed coach?
Yes, I'm a coach now.
Wow. I mean, how's it been, life after football?
It's been okay. It's been good. I'm enjoying my new career as a coach, and it's something that I wanted to do for a long time, and God has given me the chance and an opportunity to give back to the youngsters who wants to make it to the highest level. Like, I will count myself as a lucky to become like me.
Well, you're one of the few Ghanaian ex-players out there who's been able to make it internationally. You actually coach at Kaiser Chiefs in South Africa. And that was certainly a great honor, and it does not come that easy.
Yeah, there was a quick transition. I always said, when God hands it on you, I mean, such opportunity will come. And getting that transition was very, very fast one for me. Immediately after I hung my boots, a few months, I got the connection to become an assistant coach, to experience and then become the coach himself. So right now, I thank God I'm more experienced enough to at least meet any club that comes on my way.
Wow. I mean, you already started using the words, when God's hands is on you by the grace of God. To what extent does, your faith in God affect the sports or the career that you choose? And that is something we explore on this program.
I think God faith, when you have faith, it's always come a long way. It helps you everywhere you go. And myself, John, once I have faith in something, that this thing will work for me, definitely I will work on it, and it will come to pass. And with faith, if you don't have it, it's a problem. You need to have faith. A faith that can give you winning mentality, faith that can also underline when the defeat is coming. You feel it. If you don't have that, you should be worried about that. And you get the faith when you pray. Because when you pray, you ask for something, and whatever you are praying for, you need to have faith in it. You are not just going to pray, giving that, God help me this, and then just open your mouth and all. But you pray, you ask for something, and then you have to believe that that thing is going to work. So for me, combine my faith and then football, it was a great thing that I've ever experienced, and then I'm still experiencing it.
Okay, so can somebody do without faith then, or it's just based on an individual's preference? Some say, I don't believe in God. It's about me. It's about my hard work, and it's all about me. I have everything within me. I don't have to rely on any other thing. I mean, in this context, I mean, how do you analyze this? Is it preferable for some people, and is it a case that does not work for some people then?
I think it's a different style I've never heard, because every human being needs to have faith in him or herself. You need to have faith. But if somebody says it's his or her own power, his own strength that is working, that is helping him to achieve whatever he is achieving. For me, I've never been that side before, so I wouldn't know. But what I believe is, yes, I have faith, and then I always work on it. Because if I don't believe in something, because if you don't have faith, you can't believe. So believing and then adding your faith to it is what makes it work for you. Okay. So for me, there's nobody who can work alone. If any other god that the person is worshiping, if anything that is helping that person, you should have one particular thing that you stand on. Mm-hmm. So if you believe in God, you believe in God with faith. In faith, you can achieve it. Because you can't say you believe in God and at the end of the day, what? Just believing in God. You believe in God because God can do this, can do that, can take you to here, can bring you back here. So that's what I call believe and then have faith.
Okay. So how did it start for you? This belief, this faith work from your early recollection of how you were able to build up your faith and this belief that God is there and He exists. How? I mean, if you can just take us back to your days. Where were you born? Brekum, it was.
I was born in Nkoko.
Oh, Nkoko rather.
Okay. Yeah, but the reason why in Wikipedia everybody think I was born in Brekum is where I started my whole career, and people knows me from Brekum. Okay. Which I'm not taking in the back. I'm born in Brekum. So,
all right. So
yeah.
Nkoko, corrected.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, so how did it start for you? And what is your early recollection of God in your life from when you were growing up?
Okay, I believe I remember when I was a little boy, my mom used to take myself and my siblings always, and every Sunday we go to church and come back, and they pray to us, take us to Sunday schools and all. So my mom was very, very serious on that. Every Sunday you don't sit home, you go to church, you pray. From 9, 10 to 11, 12, 13 going, I didn't know how to pray, but I was going to church. When they said, close your eyes, I closed my eyes, and then I listened to prayers, and then we say, Our Father, and all that, then you keep going. But when I started believing in God, having faith in God, was when I started playing football. It was serious professional football in Brekum. That's where I used to fast and pray and ask God what I want.
You fast?
Yes, I fast.
Go without food and pray?
Go without food and prayer, yeah.
Okay.
Because it was 6 to 12, that's a half day. And it got to a point, I also got the experience of doing 6 to 6. Well, that one was very, very hard. So I was If you watch my time when I used to play for national team 2001, 2002 Mali, I was a very, very small. That's what I was doing. I fast and pray to have God mercy and an opportunity and a chance, luck and all. So being a footballer, you need all that. You need luck because a coach can see you. You do everything, but the coach won't see it. But if you have the faith, if you have the luck, if you have the God power on you, always when they are calling 10, definitely you'll be on the 7th or 8th. Definitely you'll be part of it. So that was when I started believing that there's God, that if you put yourself on, if you trust to work. It got to a time, may he so rest in peace, Yakubu Moro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he liked to bring this water.
The CEO.
Yeah, he liked to bring this water. I said, everybody drink. If you drink, we'll score goals and all. Then I will be the first person to say I won't drink.
Wow.
So if I don't drink, then I have to go home. I will leave camp. They will come and pick me, and I will be the one to score. I wasn't a defender. I was a striker, a midfielder. So all the goals from Brekum, Arsenal, from first division, third division, I was the one that was scoring the goals. So I told him, I don't believe in those waters, and no, you can take me out, I will go. But what I believe is to pray and believe in God, that God will do it for me. And that's what I was doing throughout my career.
Wow. So the fasting habit had been inculcated in you by your mother, and or something that you just learned along the line?
Something that I've learned when I was growing up from church.
And it was working for you?
Yes. When I pray and then I fast, everything that I ask God to do, it comes to pass. So like I feel that, okay, yeah, my prayer is working, my fasting is working, so why don't I continue? So I continue throughout. Yeah.
Okay. But there's always breakthrough points from Brekum Arsenal. If you can just trace it back, you eventually landed at Liberty Professionals.
Right.
Alhaji Tete, those days was quite huge in football. And can you just tell us about that favor that pushed you on to Dansoman?
Yeah, that was when I was Brekum Arsenal when I joined the under-20 national team. So when we came back from Argentina during the World Cup, there was a lot of offers. Denmark, Sweden, Israel, and many other countries. So when I came back, I had one more contract with Brekum Arsenal. Then Kotoko wanted to sign me, House of Folk wanted to sign me, Liberty Professionals wanted to sign me. So Yakubu Moro was engaging with all these clubs, and then, so at the end of the day, I picked one as a Liberty Professionals. So I went for a season, and then after the season, I was free. And then the opportunity came from Israel, Maccabi Tel Aviv, then I have to go. So from Brekum Arsenal to Liberty Professionals, and then Liberty Professionals to Maccabi Tel Aviv.
But it seems it all started from the Under-20 World Cup 2001. I mean, a game we lost against Argentina. But the composition of that team later on became the fulcrum of the national team. Very important, Michael Essien, Sule Muntari, and all of you were, how did it feel, bonding in that camp with all those massive, talent?
It was great. Like you said, massive talent. Our squad, everybody was a leader. And Coach Ike Afrani did so well, may he so rest in peace, that he was able to go to all the regions to pick leaders. Because all of us were captain from our teams. And once you have that, it will be difficult for any team to break you. And I quite remember, may he so rest in peace, Ben Kofi. He was then the GFA president. He once mentioned that this is the group that will qualify Ghana to the World Cup and continue the good work. So he was believing in us, that group, that one day we will stand for Ghana. And then that's where we find ourselves. So the more you play together, the more you see yourself together, you develop some love, some brothership. So when you go to the game, it's easy for you guys to do that skills on the field, because we have something called body language. So we have that body language. Even if you don't open our mouth, we know what this one is trying to say, what this one was trying to to make. So by keeping the group together helps us and then Ghana national team.
Okay. I mean, I look at that team and I remember how was it, when you lost versus Argentina in that final? It's a final a lot of us look at, and we always think, what else do you think you could have done to win it, or you were just overawed by the occasion?
No, I think they took us by surprise. You see, in the game, you have a moment of winning, a moment of losing. You could lose the game from 1 minute or 3 minutes and win the game 90 minutes or 92nd minute. It happened. So what we got was we were hit back by Argentinians. They watch our videos and they know that if they don't score early goal from 65 minutes going, they're out. Like we did to Brazil during that tournament, we did to France, we did it to Ecuador. So they were watching our clips. So what they did was to hit us, because when we started our first match, all the 2 fullbacks of Coach Ike Afrani, we will go high. Myself and Adokoye Papo will go high and we leave space.
Yeah.
So that's where they capitalized and then got the early goal. And they hit us again and again. So by the time we were settled, we were already down. So if we watched the game, the whole game, the second half, we were on top. We dominated the whole last second half game.
But to what extent, or what role did faith play in this team? Yes, you had a talent. You just told us Afrani really went out and scouted and brought leaders in the team of this nature. Were you praying? What sort of spiritual activity were you taking part in, if any, during the tournament?
I think all of us were very good at that, believing in God. We pray together, all of each and every one. In the morning, we come together and then we pray. We have, like, when I said faith, all of us were playing. And I see Makesi and I know it's a down deal. When I see Muntari, it's a down deal. When I see Derek Boateng, it's a down deal. I have so much faith in those boys. And then also when I pray to God that these all my players must perform, because when you perform, all of us will go forward, we will win the match. You are not going to pray and say, God, make me play good. If you play good and others don't play good, it won't work. So it's about having faith in what you are asking God to do for you. So that's where those things come to play, because they are also praying, and then you're also praying for them. It comes together, and then it works. So there's no a single time that I've seen any player doing something that is not right around the team. All of us were in the same boat. We pray, and then we trust each other, and the faith was there that we are going all the way to the final, and then we did.
Okay. In a lot of the interviews we've done here, people talk about spiritism in football. They will go out there midnight to the cemetery, to the beachside, and you just spoke about some, special water being given to you. You will reject it. But on other occasions, were you able to stand up to it? For instance, if a coach brings something to camp, and you knowing that if you choose not to go along with it, you're going to be dropped from the national team, for instance. Did you have any experiences of that nature at that level?
Not at all. Apart from that experience I had with Briku Mercenaries, and I remember when Jones was in House of Folk, when he was winning matches, people were thinking that he was using black magic and all. And may he so rest in peace. When I worked with him at Liberty Professionals, I've never experienced that. The man will come, we will pray, open his Bible, and then that's it. We go to the field and then we play. So apart from that experience I had with Briku Mercenaries, Yakubu, where I left camp, I've never experienced this anywhere again. Even in Europe, you work from your house, report 2 hours before kickoff, and you check your weight, you check your urine, you are okay. If you need to drink more water, you drink, and you get ready for the game. So you don't see those things. And I'm somebody, I don't believe in this going to cemetery, go and sleep in a cemetery, drink water to help you put things on your hands, in your boot, Because for me, I would say that the church and where you pray is in yourself. If you believe and you pray, God will listen. If you don't have faith that you pray and God will listen, then you forget and then follow what you. But if you believe in God, you believe in prayer, you think prayer will help you, you continue with it.
Well, in our earlier discussion, you spoke about a covenant you made at age 12, and it sort of built up your foundation of your faith in God, throughout your career. Is this something you want to share, with viewers? Why, and at age 12, it was that early in your, in your career, in your life?
Yeah, the reason why I picked 8 to 12 years to build my foundation, Paintsil Pace Kids Project, PPKP. When I look at myself, when I look back when I was 12 years, one day, like I did mention earlier, I was working with my dad, and I saw a friend of mine. We were all in the police barracks. I saw my friend's father was drunk, and he couldn't walk. He was just struggling on the floor. So I asked my dad, and he said he took alcohol. So alcohol makes him become like that. So I said to myself, when I grow up, no alcohol. I won't drink alcohol. Because alcohol won't help me. I don't want to see myself like that. And then the second one was I saw a motor. Rider had the accident, and then the motor was still pulling him on the road, and he lost his knee.
Wow. I
saw it, and then I was like, no, what is this? When I grow up, these motor bicycles, I won't go close to it. I also saw a group of people, young boys, who were fighting, throwing stones. They went as a group of people, like they misbehaved on the street, and they were throwing stones. And then during that give and take, one of them lost their sight. So it was also something that I said, no. Friends, good friends, bad friends, join bad friends, and I would rather sit home. I don't do friends. Until now, I don't do friends. Everybody is my friend. When I see you, hello, hi. When I meet you, we have to laugh, we laugh. But when I enter my house, I'm done. So the last one was, I was a police ballast. My dad was a police officer, so I'm a barracks boy. I was there one day, they brought one boy. They were beating him, full of blood on his shirt and all. And according to the story, it said he was smoking. But what he was smoking, I'm not going to mention it. So because he was smoking at that time, they have to bring him to the station because they say it's against the law and the land, and then he was beaten. So I kept those things in my head. I said, these things are the things that I have seen at the age of this, so I'm not going to even go close to it. And then to date, I have not. But one thing is funny that I've never saw it when I was a little boy, seeing a man chasing more than 3 women. Yes, I would have been maybe a Roman father. Seriously, because I know Roman fathers, they are not allowed to get married, right? Or they are now.
No, it still stays the same. There've been discussions, but
exactly
it's celibacy.
You see, so I'm saying that things that I saw, I witnessed myself, my eye. I saw that it wasn't right.
I'm trying to get a clarification there. So what you are saying is you never saw a man chasing 3 women.
3 women.
You never saw anything
Never,
like that?
when I was 12 years.
Okay. So
if I had ever, like now, I would have been a Roman father, because I will see that now when you see men chasing more than 3 women,
okay,
he got beaten by the wife,
okay,
and then all sort of bad words were against him, and I'm saying all this is I'm somebody, I don't like bad words. When somebody speak bad about you, you are like this, you are like that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So
now, I get the understand. It means, and I also grew up in Cape Coast, my school, Flokweku Boys, was just along the coast,
Right.
just after the police service. Those boys in our school who were barracks boys,
Right.
they always saw a lot of things because all the cases in Cape Coast were reported there.
Right.
So relating it to yours, the things that you saw at age 12, which were bad,
Yes.
you simply just use a red ink to mark them out of my life.
Exactly.
I don't want to have these things
In my
because
life.
I've seen the repercussions thereof, and I don't want these, in my life going forward.
Right.
But you see, and I always ask this question: we all see these things, we make these covenants, we make this statement, but sometimes we still fall short of it.
Yeah.
Is it possible you might have made these covenants and then later on in life you yourself broke these covenants and you ended up maybe less on the wrong side of it?
These things that I've mentioned, I've never broke it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it becomes a foundation for your life.
Exactly. Because we're kids from 8 to 12 years, whatever you say to them will stay in their head forever. Because if you are advising an adult person who knows what is bad and what is good already, it will enter the head and it will appear in the side. So once you pick those kids from 8 to 12 and you tell them, hey, whether Ashanti or Fanti, we are the same people. Whether a Muslim or a Christian, we are the same people. We worship the same God. So you don't go to here and speak behind your sister or your brother. You don't do this backbiting and all. It will not help you to collapse you. It will destroy your home. You need to respect your elders. You need to do your homework. If you want to play football, you have to add education. So in the future, you can read your contract and understand what you are signing for. You see all this. So when they are kids like that, put those elements in them. So when they grow up, it will stick in them. But if you are going to pick somebody who is 16 years, 17 years already, to tell them what to do at this time, it will be difficult.
Okay.
Because I believe that at that age, the things that I saw, and then I marked them with those red ink, I've never
Indulged.
afforded. Yeah.
Which schools did you attend?
A lot of schools.
Because
of
your
the
dad
police.
kept moving around.
I started from Makesim DC Primary School,
Okay.
and then moved to Mampo Ekwiapim Presby, and then from there to Ekropon Methodist. So from Ekropon Methodist to Koforidia New Driving College of Commerce,
Okay.
then ended up in Brekum Presec. Hello, my name is John Paintsil, ex-Ghana Black Stars player. I urge you to watch Heart and Soul on GTV Live. May God bless you and bless you more. Keep watching live on GTV.
Moving to Israel, and it was as a result of the breakthrough from the under-20 you mentioned. I noticed the clubs you play for, Maccabi Tel Aviv,
Right.
and then Hapoel Tel Aviv. These are great rivals. Along the line, you were able to play for all of them, and for Maccabi, you won the league with them. You were in the semi-finals of the State Cup, and then vice versa for Hapoel. But what I'm interested in is the faith or the religious atmosphere in Egypt. How will you describe that compared to, let's say, what you experience here in Ghana?
The difference is very, very big when it comes to, especially Christianity, how we worship and when we worship, when we go to church and when we don't go to church. Here we go to church on Sundays. Yeah, this is what I do here. But when you go to Israel Sundays are market days. So
What do you mean market days?
market days is the day they go to market, they go to work.
They work on Sundays.
Busy work
Okay.
day, yeah. Work day they are busy working. And Fridays is they call it a homida when they rest.
The Sabbath.
And then the
How do they mention it in the Jewish?
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they say Shabbat Shalom is we are giving weekend off and then like a celebration, greetings, have a wonderful weekend and all. So these are the difference between what we do here and what they do on the other side. And then they have a different way of believing. Yeah. Well, we mentioned God, we mentioned Jesus. Yeah. And they mention Moshe. Moshe is Moses, and then they mention God. So there's a difference between few of them mention Jesus, but 98% of them don't mention Jesus. So there's the difference between what we believe here and then what they believe.
They don't believe in Jesus.
Not many people that believe in Jesus. Yeah.
He's not the Son of God.
Yeah, they believe that he's just like them. According to one of my teammates, wanted to know much about why he said Jesus is just like them. Why we believe that when we pray, we mention Jesus, the Son of God, and then you guys are saying that he's just a man like you. Then he said, yeah, according to their history, what they believe that Moses, who is a strong hold that they believe, because he brought them from the land of Egypt to Israel. So that's what they believe. Even God that they believe is not 100%. He said that to me. I said, oh, really? I said, okay. But I make sure that don't take me back to where he is. Yeah, but I keep my faith. I keep doing what I believe in, because everybody has his right to believe what he wants to believe. But something that you believe and you think is working for you, it's what you need to stick with.
So they are mostly into Judaism then. They still believe in the Torah as given by Moses, the Mosaic laws. I mean, it's written in the Bible.
Exactly.
The Pharisees, the Sadducees, always fought with
99%.
Jesus.
99%.
And it still pertained there.
Yeah.
In recent times, there have been videos of people being converted on the streets of Jerusalem. Now believing, I watched a video with Ben and him, but you're reflecting, this was in the 2000s when you were, playing in Israel.
Yeah.
And did it come as a shock to you? Because we, in our part, believe all about Jesus, his Christianity, and believe it came from Israel. And so when you went to Israel and you experienced it, did it come as a shock?
That's why I said my mom took me to church when I was little. So what I believe is what I believe. Like I said, if you're a kid and they put something in your head, it stays. It will never go, no matter what people will do or say to you. So what he was saying, it was new to me, but at the same time, I didn't give a room for it to stay. So
why didn't you give a room to it?
Because I know where I'm coming from, and I know what I was believing, where I stand for. And the name I mentioned, I pray with, that took me to where I am. And now you're coming to tell me this, and that. It might be true, might not be true, but what is helping me in my life is the name that I've mentioned, the name that I pray for. So I didn't give a room at all, but it was experience to know some history about Israelis.
So how do they, yes, they do have some celebrations, or they do worship God, but are they, as we do here, let's say we go to worship, we make a whole lot of noise, there's musical instruments, how do they worship?
It's very gentle, the way they worship. You if you are not careful, you will know they are worshiping. And they are very clean when they are worshiping. They're very quiet. They sit down, they eat, and then they open their book and they read and they share the word. And then how they do it is not like how we go to church and then we open, we play music, and then we dance and all. There is different. And they have this Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is when maybe I think it's 1 month or less, you won't watch football, you won't watch TV, you won't watch anything. The food you eat, and only pizza. And there's a time that they open the restaurant, everything will be closing.
The living bread.
Yeah, no car will move. So we'll be walking on the street, and the whole place will be quiet. That's how they celebrate.
Okay. So that's how, they keep to the traditions,
Right.
as handed over to them. What about sports? What about football? Do the rabbis come before a game to pray for the team? How is the situation like? Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. The rabbis don't come there. The rabbis will be at Jerusalem, Western Wall, where the people go there to pray. So they're always there to pray. Yeah, but in football, you don't see them bringing people to pray for the team or anything like that. You work from your house and then you go and play 2 hours before the game. Like I said, like professional everywhere in Europe, that's what they do.
And so you normally pray before a game.
Oh yes.
And how did your teammates, how did the team respond to, your spiritual practices?
No, they understand it because they know that everybody must pray, and they also have their way of praying. And when you see them praying, you see that they have one hand on their back of their head and then one on their stomach. That means they are praying. So if you see them like that, you don't go to them. And also when they see me going down like that, they know I'm praying. So they know. And in the dressing room, everybody does. They can sit down like that and they will pray before we go to the field. Mm-hmm. So from praying, they pray.
They do pray.
They do pray.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the Western Wall. I mean, while there, I'm sure you also had the time to go around, see where Jesus was crucified at Calvary and other places. What sort of impression did it make on your spiritual being?
It was amazing. I mean, when I got there, a lot of things that you read in the Bible is there.
It's real.
It's real, yeah. I saw a hand that was on the wall, and it's deep. Everybody goes there, they put their hand inside and then pray, and then you move on. That's where they said when Jesus was on the cross, and then he felt, and then he put his hand there, but there was a blood on his palm. So he put it on the wall. So that symbol is there. So when you go, you put your hand there and then you pray and then you ask whatever you want. And then when you get to the main temple, it's very big. Everybody stand there. They have a women's session and a men's session. So if you don't want to pray, what you do is you write your knees while you're there, and then you just take it there and then you leave. So when you go there, you see a lot of foreigners, a lot. Yeah.
What were some of the distinguishing things about the Israeli culture and how, they build their society? We know so many of the rich men in the world are actually Israelis, and so many of the good scientists are also Israelis. But what underpins, their work environment from what you observed?
They're hardworking people. And they believe that when you work hard, you will succeed. And they don't believe in people who are lazy. They are all hard workers. And if you are working with them and you work hard, it doesn't matter where the association you belong. The whole country will stand behind you and then push you to go well. And yes, they have money, but one thing they won't do is they'll give you the free money. You must work for that. So I would say when it comes to work, they're very, very unique on that. They're hard work people.
But what is interesting, because eventually, when you got your breakthrough to play at West Ham in England, it was an Israeli, UC Benayoun, who actually recommended you to Alan Pardew. And I wonder what he saw in you for him to have made such a recommendation.
Exactly. That's the point. Yossi Benayoun wasn't my friend. I played against him when he was playing for Maccabi Haifa. He was a great player. From there, he moved to Spain. I didn't know he was watching me from afar, and he ended up in West Ham. So when West Ham was looking for a right full back, he quickly recommended me that, I remember I played against this guy. And so Alan came to Germany 2006 World Cup to watch our game, and then after that we had a chat. And then that was where that chance, the opportunity came. So it was through Yossi Banayu. So when I joined the team, Yossi came to me and said, "You remember that tackle you gave me? That is why I recommend you to my coach, that you are a very strong person, you're a strong guy, mentally." He said that mentally. So if you don't have mental strength in the game too, you cannot play, because there's a lot of things that go around the game. And if you are mentally weak, you won't make it to the highest level. So he said that to me. I said, okay. Like I did mention, they like people who are working hard. Mm-hmm. They don't care whether you belong to a different family or not. But once you are working hard, all of them will back you.
It's an interesting point you make there. You know, I was reading something about Peter Crouch. You know, it's about the tallest striker England has ever had. And he says something about you, that in a game with this club, you told him you were going to break his bones or break his leg. And, you know, it made quite an impression on him. And I wonder, what is the story behind this statement Peter Crouch made? I'm talking about having a very high mentality. In the game of football, it's like war. It's a battle altogether.
Yeah, football is a gentleman game, but at the same time, you need to have that mindset. You see,
you actually told him you were going to break his leg.
Oh yes, I told him, and then I follow him for my position. After, he messed up with me. He said words that you're not supposed to, just to provoke me to have his way.
He provoked you first.
Yes.
And then you responded.
Yes. Okay. And then I told him, don't start with me. You might be taller than me, but my bones are stronger than yours. So if you try it, I'll break your bone. And then he said that word, and he ran to one of my colleagues, my teammate, and then said, Aaron, this guy, who is he? He said, you break my bone. And then Hughes told him that you mess up with the wrong person. Because even my teammates, I kick them at training. Because the way I train is the way I play. I don't have a training side and a match day side. So I'm always ready to go. So after saying that, he ran to the left side. I went there, kick him, and come back to my position. Then he came last minute and said, you this guy. I said, you are still talking. So you see, if I don't have that mental strength, like the things that he said to me, I will just go down and let him go through my position. But I master that position, then you have to leave to the left side. In a few minutes, they substitute him.
There was another thing you had with Yakubu Aibeni. It was a corner kick. I think it was Fulham versus Everton.
Right.
And you remember that one too?
Yes, that was 2008.
Yeah. And you said he was your friend, but
Yakubu
on the field,
is my friend, very good friend of mine. Yeah.
But on the field, you need to do anything to.
Yes. Yakubu is very strong.
I could see he was just
with the
strong
striker. See, when you push me small, I go like a paper. So why Roy gave me to handle? We have Brother Hanger and big boys who can take him, but Roy said something in me that this guy is intelligent and is very tough. So if I give him Yakubu, definitely he will handle him. So he gave me Yakubu. And Yakubu is strong. What do I have to do? I need to do something to just take his mind out of the game by distracting him.
Do you remember what you did to him?
Yes, I remember. And then I did that to him 2 times. The corner was played, came on top of his head, passed him, and he was focusing on me. You see, so you have to do what you have to do to keep your position and then keep your instructions on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to do. You also have to look where the referee's angle is and the linesman.
If we had VAR those days, you get plenty red cards.
Oh no.
Now you won't do it.
I think that would have been a warning.
Anyway, it's just interesting, observing footballers, the mentality, being strong on the field.
Mental strength is very, very important on the field of play. And even off the pitch, you need that. Yeah. Because a player without mental strength is a weak player.
Yeah.
You need to have that, because you might play and then have a bad day, and the next day you feel like, I'll use myself as an example. 2011, 2010, 2011, when I score 4 own goals, I will still keep going, because it's not easy for a month. Every game you score own goal.
Yeah, you had a couple.
Yes,
and I'm sure we gave you a name at the point.
Yes, and I never let it beat me up.
Yeah.
I will go to training still smiling, still working hard, because I know it's part of the game. And I always believe that I didn't get to that level easy. I worked so hard to get there. So you won't get there, and then just mistakes will take you down. You need to have that mental strength.
You know what I remember now? That David and Goliath, fight. I think 1 Samuel 17.
Yeah.
Goliath told him, you sent me a dog. He was going to feed his carcass to the birds of the air. And, I mean, it was back and forth. David also said, yes, before the day goes, I'm going to cut your head off. And then Goliath makes a point about, cursing David to his gods. Then David also then lifts the battle to his God. So then became a god to God.
You could see the sizes.
Exactly. And I look at Peter Crouch, who's this tall, and you are this. I look at Yakubu when he's like this, and you're just like me. And so these are the battles that go on. You got to be prepared.
Yes.
At
all time.
Yeah.
At all time.
Yeah. And you need to be able to speak back.
Yes. And that's where the faith chipped in, because you have the faith. You believe that no matter what, nobody can let you down. Nobody can take you down. Nobody can take you away. Nobody can take what belongs to you. Sometimes can slide, but you can also pursue it at the end of the day. So for me, faith and believing in what you're doing, what you believe in, it's massive.
And there's always somebody watching, because I remember, those days at Fulham, with Roy Hodgson in charge, you played almost every single game, and we were all surprised and amazed. And, you can look at it from the physical perspective and also look at it from a monetary perspective, because in England, every single game you play, you make what they call appearance fees.
Right.
And you did about 75 matches.
Right.
So consistently. And I wonder what Roy Hodgson saw in you that made him feel you in almost every match that, Fulham, played.
I played all the matches, like I said. Sometimes coaches look at the player, how you train. How you train motivates the coach or dismotivates him. If you are not training well, the coach start having doubts, like maybe he's not fit. What am I going to do? But when you train, you give all your best to him, and if you have so much confidence in you, it will be difficult. Even reserve match, Roy will never drop me. There was a game when we were playing the Europa qualify. I was the only person who joined the second team to Russia to play. Zamora, them, everybody was resting. I was the only person who went with the team, and we won. So I would say that hard working always pay, because it's not because he wants to give those players to rest, but those players give him impression that they are tired, they cannot do more than. But my energy gives the coach that power that John can play this match and play that and play that. So he was using me all the matches. There was no single match that I was in bench, except the final match when I was in pain, when I took this injury from Chelsea at that time.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
That clash with Didier Drogba?
Yeah, the clash that, that made me lose the Angola 2010.
You were trying to stand up to him, and Drogba is also another.
What happened is the ball came, corner kick, and then I was going to kick the ball away, and then Drogba was going to also volley. So I got the ball first, and then he got my knee. So it's like my knee came up, and then he pushed it in. So it was a very, very, it was bad injury. was very bad.
But I remember, before that tackle, you were already standing up to him.
Yes.
You were having your own battles
Oh yes.
on the
Yes.
field. And
Yes.
it was like, I'm not going to allow you to have your day.
Not for my position. No. You can. For me, my position is my home and my house. You can't come and mess up in my house, but you can go to the others if they will allow you. That is why when I lose the ball, the man stay with me. Yes. When the man goes, I take the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, John, let's just touch on one other issue. Some might say it's famous, some might say it's infamous, but it certainly made the headlines. Ghana had done the unthinkable, beating Czech Republic at the World Cup 2006. And in the midst of all the celebration, John Paintsil pulls out an Israeli flag. Then everything changes around the world. And everybody, the Arabs are angry at you. Those who don't like Israel are angry at you. I'm sure the other side, the Israelis, were also very happy at it. What went into that?
Well, very difficult one. After the game, I was in my room, and then former President Kwesi Ntechi came and then asked me, John, why? Do you know what has happened? And I was laughing. I said, what did I do? He said, why did you put that flag? It's not right. Now everybody is talking about it. It's a problem now. And I said, oh, but I didn't know. I was like, I was naive. I don't know what I was doing. Like, just show the flag to my fans. I said that to him. He said, no, it's a problem. And I was still relaxing. And then he looked at me and said, look at him, he's even relaxing. He don't know what is happening. So I was like, I just free my mind. And then, so later on, the captain came, Stephen Tornado, said, John, there's a problem. And say, so watch TV. So I watched CNN and I said, oh, no. If this is the case, then I think we need to apologize because I didn't know it was going to. And then at that time, too, I didn't know there's any problem with Israelis, Palestinians, the Arabs, and all. So I believe that, when you hurt people, you must apologize to them. Because if you knew it before, that means you did it intention. But I didn't do it intention. I was just because of the love that the supporters showed to me. Even when I was leaving Tel Aviv to join the national team, you see the number of supporters who came to the airport with the Ghanaian flag, wishing me all the best, that
Wow.
Ghana will go far, we love you. And it's not the supporters from Maccabi or Hapoel. The entire clubs, you see different flags and then all, like, give me that farewell, as if I'm going, I'm not coming back. And it really, when I went to the World Cup, I never went back to Israel to play. Straight to England. So I think they knew what they were doing. But at the end of the day, you cannot make people unhappy. You see, so what I did was I came out and then I apologized to those who were hurt. And because at the end of the day, you cannot have it all. And in life, it's human beings who make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But would that be a mistake? I mean, anyway, you raise a point. If you hurt people,
it's not right to hurt people. You need to rectify that and apologize to them. So I did honor people apologies and what I did. Those who were hurt, I was sorry to them, and those who were supporting me to still have belief in me that they know my heart that I wasn't doing to hurt people. Hurting people is one of the things that I will never do. And I still say sorry to those who were hurt.
But the Israelis were really happy to have seen their flag come from you.
It's like Kotoko and Haas playing, and then Olympics playing against Kotoko, and Haas won the lead to score Kotoko. So definitely one will be happy. You see, but then I didn't know what was trigger between here. So now that I understand, if I'm sitting here right now, if I do it again, that means I'm doing it in intention, trying to hurt people. There's no way that thing will repeat again. Yeah.
Okay. We're trying to wrap up this interview. Obviously, there's just so much to talk about more, and maybe we'll have to do a part 2 at a point. But you also obviously have also gone through a lot off the field incidents, personal levels, which is only you who decides whether to talk about them or not. Even at Kaiser Chiefs, there have been issues. What I want to find out from you, when you go through such issues in life, to what extent does your faith allow you come out of it? What role does faith play, in off the field incidents, in issues beyond, the field?
As pastors preach all the time, all things are possible. Okay, so whatever you believe it well. You need to have faith in your life, in all the things coming together. You pray to God. You say to God that whatever is happening, if it's God's will to happen, so be it. But if it's not in the hand of the God, you will definitely come out. So you always have to leave things to God, for God to decide. If I choose to trust in God, if I choose to pray to God, because through God I will get there, I always leave everything to God. There's no a single time I've said I'm losing my faith, that, oh God, why this thing is happening, trying to question God. When you start questioning God, that's when your faith will start shaking. Because it's like you give me something and say tomorrow you give the rest to me, and I'm saying, are you sure? That means I'm not certain. So what I do is I believe in God. This thing too shall pass. That's the word I always use to encourage. It shall be well.
It is well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this interview and revealing so many of this. And I'm sure a lot of people have learned quite a number of things from your life story. But it's remarkable.
Right.
No matter what you go through, you come out.
Right.
And you continue to stay there. And I really wish you well with this coaching that you're doing, impacting to the younger ones. And I mean, the sky can't be the limit for you. It could be the Black Stars, it could be Fulham, it could be anywhere else.
Amen.
And continue to fly high the flag. He's one of the people who always take the Ghana flag and go around the field after every game. And, the passion, the zeal to do what he can do and impact what he can to the society is just unparalleled. Thank you. Thank you again, John Paintsil, ex-Ghana international. And I really hope you've been touched by his story. Sign off by saying life is a test, it's a trust, and it's very temporal. We live today, we die tomorrow. So while you have a being, seek your maker, give your life to Christ. Good day, to meet again on yet another edition of Heart and Soul.